At 61, Johnny Depp has finally spoken out, and what he shares confirms the rumors that have surrounded him for years. Both fans and critics are left shocked. What secret has this Hollywood legend been concealing all along? Stay tuned as we dive into the truth Johnny Depp has just chosen to disclose to the world. The early struggles. Johnny Depp's introduction to substance use came surprisingly early, revealing a troubled youth searching for comfort in the shadows. At just 11 years old, Depp recalled during his 2020 UK libel trial how his mother once asked him to bring her nerve pills. On a whim, he took one himself, a moment he later identified as the start of a decades-long pattern. By age 12, he was already smoking cigarettes, and by 14, he confessed to having tried every kind of drug there was. It wasn't about rebellion, he explained, but a means to escape the chaos of his unstable upbringing. In a 1997 interview with Vanity Fair, Depp spoke candidly about that dark chapter, calling it a pretty dark time in his life. "I was poisoning myself beyond belief. There was a lot of liquor. I was pretty unhealthy," he admitted. Though Depp became famous for playing quirky, larger-than-life characters, the real pain behind his public persona often went unnoticed, unless you looked closely. Depp's early drug and alcohol use was less about partying and more about self-medication. During his 2022 defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard, he revealed the turmoil at home. His mother, Betty Sue Palmer, was frequently abusive, and his father left when he was a teenager. The only way to numb the pain was to self-medicate, Depp said in court. He made it clear that his substance use was never about fun or thrill-seeking. It was about survival. Back in 2008, in an interview with the Boston Globe, Depp admitted he had never felt comfortable with fame. "I never wanted to be the guy people looked at," he confessed, a surprising statement from someone whose face graced movie posters worldwide. He explained that drinking was his way of coping with the intense spotlight, a continuation of the habits formed in his youth. His ongoing battle with substance use wasn't about celebrity excess, but a failure to find healthier ways to manage his pain. Throughout the libel trial, Depp offered deeper insight into his lifelong relationship with drugs and alcohol. He acknowledged using marijuana, MDMA, and cocaine, but denied addiction to those substances. However, he admitted to being addicted to the prescription painkiller roxycodone and misusing alcohol. Despite the public's assumptions, Depp stressed that his substance use was a numbing agent, just to calm the circuits, not a quest for thrills. These candid revelations shed light on Johnny Depp's early years, offering a raw glimpse of how childhood trauma can leave lasting scars. His openness, though controversial, helps us understand the profound impact of those formative experiences. But when self-medication meets immense wealth and fame, does the search for relief risk turning into self-destruction? Stay with us to find out. The financial turmoil. Watching a global icon like Johnny Depp unravel, not on screen but through courtroom documents and financial audits, is a striking and unsettling sight. Known worldwide for roles like Captain Jack Sparrow and Edward Scissorhands, Depp's real-life story took a dramatic turn in 2017. This time, it wasn't substance abuse making headlines, but massive debt, multi-million-dollar losses that sparked a bitter legal clash with his former business managers, the management group, TMG. Depp filed a $25 million lawsuit against TMG, accusing them of mishandling his finances, failing to file taxes properly, taking unauthorized loans, and ultimately costing him tens of millions. However, rather than sympathy, Depp faced a public unraveling. In a surprising countermove, TMG fired back with their own lawsuit, claiming Depp was less a victim and more a reckless spender out of control. Suddenly, the news wasn't about his films, but about a $3 million cannon blast used to scatter writer Hunter S. Thompson's ashes, a $30,000 per month wine habit, purchasing 14 properties, including an entire French village. and maintaining a staff of 40 people. Court documents from TMG detailed expense after expense that seemed more like tabloid fantasy than financial reality. Yet Depp stood his ground. In a 2018 Rolling Stone interview, he admitted to the wine spending but rejected the idea that he was frivolous. "It's insulting to say I spent $30,000 on wine," he said with biting sarcasm, "because it was far more." That statement quickly went viral, revealing his bitterness. Depp insisted he had been betrayed by those he trusted to manage his wealth. "I trusted these people with my money and I was blindsided. They stole from me," he said. TMG's lawyers painted a different picture, portraying Depp as a prodigal spender ignoring their repeated advice to cut back. They claimed they urged him to sell assets and rein in his spending, but he chose instead to acquire more art, real estate, and vintage guitars. The saga took a bizarre turn when it emerged Depp had spent $7,000 on a couch from the Keeping Up with the Kardashians set. The image of one of Hollywood's greatest actors lounging on reality TV furniture perfectly captured the surreal nature of the entire scandal. Beneath the surface, however, the fight was about more than money. Depp was battling to protect his reputation and fight the narrative that he was a financial mess. He accused TMG of making secretive decisions, including risky investments and high-interest loans, without his knowledge. His legal team described the firm as profiteers exploiting Depp's fame while letting his finances spiral out of control. The dispute never reached a public trial. In 2018, both sides settled quietly, with no admission of guilt. But the damage was already done. The public had glimpsed the financial chaos behind the star's fortune, once thought impenetrable due to his $650 million film earnings from hits like Pirates of the Caribbean. Instead, his wealth was revealed as tangled in lawsuits, unpaid taxes, and unchecked luxury spending. Since then, Depp has kept working, but the financial storm left an indelible mark. His case serves as a stark warning in Hollywood. Fame and success don't guarantee security, and even the biggest stars can fall victim to poor deals, misplaced trust, or personal indulgences. For Johnny Depp, the struggle over money became a battle to reclaim his dignity. When sorrow meets scandal, how does one man keep it together? Stay tuned as we dive deep into Johnny Depp's most intimate fight, a dark chapter in his life. Johnny Depp's spiral into emotional turmoil didn't start on a film set or in a courtroom. It began quietly in a hospital room. In May 2016, just days before his life would unravel in the public eye, Depp's mother, Betty Sue Palmer, passed away. Her death hit him deeply. During his 2022 defamation trial, Depp described the loss as devastating, calling her the most important woman in my life, his voice heavy with emotion. Yet there was no time to grieve. Only 3 days after his mother's death, Depp's then-wife, Amber Heard, who had been married to him for just over a year, filed for divorce and obtained a temporary restraining order, accusing Depp of physical abuse. The allegations triggered an intense media frenzy. Paparazzi swarmed the courthouse, and headlines erupted with details of an alleged violent incident, including photos of Heard's bruised face splashed across tabloids. Depp categorically denied these accusations. "I have never struck a woman in my life," he told the court. But at the time, Depp stayed mostly silent, overwhelmed by grief and the sudden storm of allegations. Depp's legal team argued that Heard's claims were a manipulative tactic aimed at securing financial gain in the divorce proceedings. They accused her of staging events to create a false story. Heard, meanwhile, maintained her accusations were true, claiming she endured emotional, verbal, and physical abuse during their relationship. The battle extended beyond the courtroom to social media, where supporters and detractors fiercely debated the truth. The divorce was finalized in early 2017. Depp agreed to pay Heard $7 million, which she pledged publicly to donate to the ACLU and a children's hospital. However, Depp later alleged during his UK libel trial that Heard had lied about the donation and kept most of the money, adding fuel to an already toxic public feud. In a candid 2018 interview with Rolling Stone, Depp revealed how deeply the ordeal had affected him. Grappling with heavy drinking, ongoing lawsuits, and his mother's death, he watched his public image deteriorate. "I was as low as I believe I could have gotten," he said. He described isolating himself for days, starting mornings with vodka, and reflecting on all he had lost, not just financially, but in trust and peace of mind. The allegations also took a toll on his career. In 2020, after losing a libel case against the Sun newspaper, who labeled him a wife-beater, Depp was asked to leave his role in Fantastic Beasts. Though the court's decision didn't equate to criminal guilt, it accepted Heard's version of events, causing irreparable damage to Depp's reputation. Studios became wary, contracts stalled, and the once bankable star was now a figure of controversy. Depp's legal battle with Heard was more than a divorce. It was a public reckoning. He fought not only to salvage his name, but to reclaim some clarity in a world increasingly hostile and misrepresentative. Amid loss, accusations, and emotional ruin, he stood exposed to the harsh glare of public judgment, refusing to let others define his story. After heartbreak and headlines, could justice finally set the record straight? Let's explore how the courtroom would reshape everything. Fighting back in court. In April 2022, Johnny Depp launched a high-profile legal battle that gripped audiences worldwide. He filed a defamation lawsuit against his ex-wife, Amber Heard, in Fairfax County, Virginia, centered on a 2018 op-ed she wrote for The Washington Post. In the article, Heard described herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse, and although Depp's name wasn't mentioned, he argued that the piece damaged his reputation and career. Seeking $50 million in damages, Depp claimed that Heard's allegations were false and had caused him severe personal and professional harm. The trial kicked off on April 11, 2022, and was broadcast live, turning the courtroom into a global stage. Over 6 weeks, both sides presented their stories to the public and the jury. Depp's attorneys worked to prove that Heard's statements were not only untrue, but made with actual malice, a difficult standard to meet in defamation cases involving public figures. On June 1, 2022, the jury reached its decision. They ruled that Heard had defamed Depp on all 3 counts he filed. Depp was awarded $10 million in compensatory damages plus $5 million in punitive damages. However, Virginia's legal cap reduced the punitive damages to $350,000, making the total award approximately $10.35 million. In a partial win for Heard, the jury found that Depp's former lawyer had defamed her, awarding her $2 million in compensatory damages. After the verdict, Depp expressed his relief and gratitude, saying, "The jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled." He emphasized that the trial was about uncovering the truth above all else. The widespread media coverage amplified the trial's impact, sparking waves of social media support for Depp and criticism of Heard. Many observers noted that Depp appeared to be winning not only in court, but also in the court of public opinion. Heard, conversely, faced harsh backlash online. She later claimed that the social media environment influenced the jury's decision and voiced concerns about what the verdict could mean for victims of domestic abuse. The trial shifted public perception significantly. Depp, once mired in controversy, found renewed fan and industry support. Yet the long-term consequences for both parties' careers remained uncertain, highlighting the complex interplay between private relationships, public image, and media influence. Following the trial, both Depp and Heard filed appeals, but eventually settled in December 2022, with Heard agreeing to pay Depp $1 million, ending the legal saga. The Depp-Heard trial became a landmark case illustrating how celebrity, law, and social media intersect in today's digital age. It sparked widespread discussion about domestic abuse, defamation law, and the powerful role of social platforms in shaping public opinion and legal outcomes. With the courtroom battles behind him, how would Johnny Depp start to rebuild not only his career but also his life? Let's move on to the next chapter of his journey, the artistic revival. Following the storm of his intense legal struggles, Johnny Depp found a new sense of peace and renewal through his art. Stepping away from the harsh glare of the courtroom, he turned his energy toward creative projects that had long been eclipsed by public controversy. A major highlight of this chapter was Depp's return to directing after a 25-year break. He took on Modi, 3 Days on the Wing of Madness, a biopic about the Italian painter Amedeo Modigliani. This wasn't merely a career move, but a deeply personal endeavor. Depp spoke of his admiration for Modigliani's life, calling it a story of great hardship but eventual triumph, a universally human story all viewers can identify with. Co-produced with Al Pacino, the film was adapted from a play by Dennis McIntyre, with Jersey and Mary Kromolowski handling the screenplay. The cast boasted notable names like Riccardo Scamarcio as Modigliani, alongside Stephen Graham and Antonia Desplat. Filming began in September 2023 in Budapest, with additional scenes shot in Los Angeles and Turin. The production concluded in early 2024, and the film made its debut at the 72nd San Sebastian International Film Festival on September 24, 2024, where it earned warm applause and a lengthy standing ovation. Depp's return to directing was more than just a professional milestone. It served as a form of healing. Speaking at the Rome Film Festival, he reflected, "Everything that we experience, you learn something somewhere along the way, so I don't have any ill feelings toward anyone." He stressed the importance of moving forward without bitterness, explaining how working on Modi allowed him to transform his struggles into creative expression. Beyond filmmaking, Depp also delved into other forms of art. He held an exhibition called A Bunch of Stuff in Chelsea, New York City, showcasing his paintings along with a collection of personal memorabilia. Although the exhibit received mixed reviews, it highlighted Depp's wide-ranging artistic talents and his desire to communicate beyond the boundaries of acting. This artistic revival was more than just personal growth, it also helped shift public opinion. After years clouded by scandal, Depp's renewed focus on art and storytelling began to reshape his image as a devoted and passionate creator. While the wounds of his past battles still lingered, this era marked a creative rebirth, reconnecting him with his true passion and offering it back to the world. In embracing his artistic roots, Johnny Depp showed remarkable resilience and a deep dedication to his craft. Having reclaimed his voice through art, could Johnny Depp have yet another personal truth to share at 61? Let us reveal what's next. Accepting reality at 61. Now at 61, Johnny Depp is no longer the mysterious heartthrob hidden behind quirky roles or dark sunglasses. He presents himself in a more subdued, reflective light, older, wiser, and ready to speak candidly. Years of fame, scandal, and reinvention have forged a man who, after enduring the harsh spotlight, now values honesty over performance. In a recent documentary about director Tim Burton, Depp shared how fame unsettled him from the start. Talking with People magazine, he recalled feeling overwhelmed by the attention during the late 1980s and early 1990s. "I was kind of freaked out by it," he admitted, referring to his rise as a teen idol after 21 Jump Street. He never wanted to be labeled that way. "It made me very uncomfortable," Depp confessed. This unease wasn't temporary. It influenced how he lived, acted, and kept his distance from mainstream Hollywood. Reflecting on his early roles, especially Edward Scissorhands, Depp revealed how Burton's quiet, introverted character resonated with his own battles with anxiety and self-doubt. He admitted he initially thought his performance was poor, only to realize Burton was helping him express genuine vulnerability rather than simply act. These admissions rank among Depp's most sincere. He revealed years of frustration with the public's failure to see who he truly was. At one point, he described himself as a raw nerve, saying the constant paparazzi and media attention felt like emotional exposure. "They took a kid from Kentucky and turned him into a Hollywood product," he once reflected. The persona, the legend, it all became exhausting. Even when discussing his closest mentors, Depp spoke openly about Marlon Brando's influence. In a resurfaced interview published by Los 40 and AS, he shared how Brando advised him to take a year off and read Shakespeare. Depp has long toyed with the idea of playing Hamlet. "It scares me," he admitted, "but maybe that's exactly why I need to do it." Now settled in London, Depp leads a quieter life. According to a recent Page 6 report, he was spotted on the set of Day Drinker, directed by Mark Webb, sporting a sleek silver hairstyle. This marks not just a creative comeback, but an emotional one. The role of a mysterious man caught in a psychological thriller mirrors the complex, multifaceted individual Depp has become. His return isn't about fixing his image, it's about embracing the entirety of his journey, the failures, the victories, and all the messy moments in between. In interviews, Depp no longer shies away from tough questions. Instead, he faces them with calm honesty. "You discover who you really are when everything is stripped away," he reflected. The truth, it seems, wasn't something Depp feared. It was something he was learning to embody all along. If Johnny Depp's story moved you, don't forget to hit like, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next video.